another episode. I'm excited for this. They're all fun. I feel like that's a line I've dropped at like the beginning of every episode is I'm excited for this one. But this is going to be some topics of conversation again that I just did not ever really think that I would be getting into on the podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm here with Crystal Cavalier and Nick Schizzano. You guys are unique, earthy people, like modern day hippies to the core, and I assume to be proudly titled that.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's not offensive.
Not offensive. But so we're going to be talking about off-grid living. That's a topic that is very, very interesting in Minnesota. I would say the amount of people that live off-grid in Minnesota are probably few and far between. Sounds like the other topics. So it's Crystal Clear Compass is the name of your company, and it's a lot of alternative things, right? Off-grid living, alternative health, urine therapy.
Yes.
So stick around if you're curious about what urine therapy is. It might not be what you think, but it could be exactly what you think. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into some maybe astrology. You guys do some astrology readings. I want to pick your mind about some cryptocurrency. If we get into that, maybe at the end we'll talk a little bit about crypto and all that, because the markets are fun right now in that aspect. But anyways, I'm excited to just get into the conversation. You guys got some Stumbeano's coffee on the way over here, you said? Nice. I should have brewed some this afternoon, but I did not. I've got a little bit of Stumbeano's coffee here. They're great supporters of the show. Great coffee.
It's our favorite. It's very smooth.
The best coffee.
Yeah, we're lucky to have them in the area for sure. Definitely. And then I got to thank Victor Lundeen's and Lakes Area Grow Co for coming alongside the show and supporting it as well. So thanks to all the sponsors. If you guys are interested, the other thing I wanted to say is I'm leaving for a trip here in a few days, and I think there probably will be the first little break I take from the podcast. So there's a period of my life that I feel like is a good time for me to step back and reevaluate a bunch of different things. This podcast has been going for a little over a year without really any breaks or pauses in the production, and I think I'm ready to kind of step back a little bit. Not saying it's done or anything, or I'm gonna like walk away from it. I just need to step back. So you guys might be like one of the last episodes for a while here while I kind of figure out what I want the future of the show to look like. I want more community involvement when I come back. I would love for this to be a production that wasn't just like my thing, but something that belonged to our community a little bit more. And if some different people wanted to pitch in to make it happen, I think that you can make something really, really good out of it. I'm more of in the mindset of expand it or disband it. You know, I really want to be able to provide the passion I have. First and foremost is telling people stories, and I don't think that's going to stop. But I want to figure out a way to sustain this podcast for the community. So if it works out, it does, but I'm going to step back and see. And so if you guys are listening and you have any ideas, don't be afraid to reach out if you want to get involved with it. So otherwise, I did enough rambling. Let's get into your guys' story here. Nick, do you want to go first? You're younger. You have less of a story, or do you have more of a story? Who's got more of a story between the two of you?
Interesting question.
I think Crystal has the rights to go first.
Okay. Thank you. So I was born and raised in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, just south on a crop farm, Loomer Farms. Might be familiar with that. It's just a pretty regular life as a kid growing up. I thought it was regular. Maybe it was a little bit different compared to like growing up in town, but helped out on the farm and all that, and went to school, graduated high school, went to college.
Was it in Fergus here? You graduated from Fergus. The farm, was it a food farm, a animal farm, both?
It was a crop farm.
Crops.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, like corn, soybeans, wheat, that.
Gotcha. So you grew up doing all that stuff, running the tractor and doing all that stuff.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Combine and all of it.
Gotcha. And then what year did you graduate high school?
99.
1999.
Yep.
Right on. So you're quite a bit older than Nick here.
Yeah. 10 years.
Okay. 10 years older. Right on. So where'd you end up going to college?
Well, I started going down in the cities. I didn't like the city life. I was at Northwestern. So then I transferred up to Moorhead State.
Okay. And your degree was in?
Music performance and music education.
That's right. Because you are, on top of that, we didn't really actually mention the music side of things in the
Right.
intro, but that's also a big part of what you do. And like, that's
It's
your
huge.
outlet. That's your
Yeah.
passion. So
Yeah.
like, you perform around the community in some different areas and different spots.
Yeah. You know, it kind of goes in waves. Like I've done things and then kind of just taken a break. But I'm really excited to be joining up with Sarah Munson.
Okay.
You know her.
Yeah.
And she has an amazing voice. And we're coming together and forming a duo.
Nice.
Yeah. And just want to give a little plug for us. And we're calling ourselves the Undercover Angels.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys are playing at the Williams Company store.
We are on the 23rd
On the 23rd
of March.
Okay. I don't know if this will be
I
out
know,
by
I was
then
wondering.
or right around that time is probably when this will come out.
But there'll be more.
There'll be more. There'll be
Yes.
more. Awesome. And you play piano as well as like
Mhm.
some like flute,
Yeah, I play Native American
the
flute,
native flute.
and I'll play a little ukulele and we'll sing. Sarah will sing the main vocals, and then I'll add some harmonies.
Gotcha. And then
Mhm.
you and Nick have done some stuff where he's just like accompanied you on his guitar when
Mhm.
you
It's beautiful.
yeah.
It's all intuitive
Yeah.
when we play. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you went to school then and you graduated, you got your degree,
Mhm.
and then you ended up going into music somehow, or did you get into music first after college?
Well, so my intention was to like become a music teacher. But while I was going to college, I got pregnant. I was married and then I got pregnant. And I had at that point, like decide after student teaching, I realized I didn't want to be a part of that public school system. Just didn't fit my soul. And I had at that point had my first baby, and I was like, I'm gonna homeschool. I knew like even before she was born, I was gonna homeschool. Yeah. And so I didn't really do anything with music for quite a long time, really. I guess I played in the praise band and stuff like that, but with
Okay.
Federated Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were married and you were kind of a stay-at-home mom
Mhm.
and you were educating your
Yes.
kids, stay-at-home
Yeah.
mom. Gotcha. And then so go forward, how does life transpire? Feel free to fill in
Yeah.
what you want to fill in about how
Right.
we'll get Nick's story,
Yeah.
what he
We'll
had
get-
going on in his life, because he was probably like in high school at this time or like middle school
Yeah,
at this
right.
time, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of fast forward. I with my previous husband, we ended up building an off-grid sustainable homestead. Started that in 2008. That was a focus, gardening. I mean, we played a little bit of music, but it just wasn't like the focus at that point. And then in 2017, Nick and I met at an open jam at the spot.
Oh, at the spot.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. And we all kind of like were friends, like my ex-husband and all three of us. And then,
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
And it just kind of worked out where you were better for her than he was.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's just,
Or-
energy.
Merging.
It was
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
interesting. So you were already into the off-grid living, already into all that stuff. And then let's turn the tables over to you here,
Yeah.
Nicholas Schizzano. I went to school with your brother. I graduated with Chris.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what he's up to these days. I don't know what he's doing, but
Yeah,
you don't have to fill me in on him. This is about you.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a long time, but
Yeah.
so you were born in Fergus too? Born and raised in Fergus?
Yep. Born, raised in Fergus. Great town. Now realizing what an amazing town this is. It's a pretty good town, having been around. Checked out Costa Rica, Greece, and Mexico, and we've been all over quite a bit, all over America quite a bit. But wow, what a great town this is! It's a pretty cool town.
This is good.
Very nice and peaceful. But anyways, I grew up here. Went to school here. Graduated 2010. I rode bike around the town always. I was always outside riding bike around town. That was a big part of my childhood. Very fun. And then I went to technical school in Alexandria for welding and metal.
Okay.
Completed that. Worked some jobs in all over, in Alexandria and St. Cloud. And then I kind of wrapped that up because, I kind of had like an awakening or an epiphany or something when I was 21, and I quit drinking alcohol and doing all these things, and I went more towards the spiritual practices, I guess. A lot of it revolved around keeping your body alkaline and clean and raising the spinal fluid to your brain, and it nourishes your brain. And that was kind of something I was really into, and I'm still into it. Still, I'm working towards that purity of body to keep the body at a real high vibration state. Passion, yeah, we've just been doing that and met her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So 21 when you met her?
21 when I quit all the industrial working
Okay.
and drinking
When
alcohol.
did you guys, how old were you guys met?
And then I was 25 when we met.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of went through your own little like period, and then you guys met at the spot playing music
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
kind of hit it off right away. How did that
Kinda, yeah.
how did that story merge in? I guess like were you still with your? I guess you were still with your husband?
Yeah,
at the
I
time?
was. But it was
Yeah.
kind of just like for, I'm getting really like vulnerable here, right?
Yeah. Hey.
Which is okay. So it had been like, just kind of like best friends, my ex and I, for a very long time. Like, and that's kind of all it was, which was good. But there was more. I knew there was more. Like my soul and heart was seeking more. Yeah. So it was kind of like it was a mutual feeling, but it was also very painful for both of us. Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yep.
It is. It is. So, but
Yeah.
then you guys are not married now. You're just like
Together 7 years. I don't know.
together 7 years.
I don't know, like if the state, I know some states acknowledge if you're together 7 years, then you're technically married. But
Oh,
I don't-
interesting.
I remember hearing that a long time ago.
Interesting. Never
Yeah.
heard of that. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
So you guys end up moving out to this off-grid sustainable place that you and your ex-husband built?
That was kind of, I'd put that out there, like, hey, we can just all live together, right? That wasn't okay.
Oh,
No, he was not okay with that. I get it. I totally get it. But
I don't know what we were
So you
thinking.
guys found your own little spot and built your own
No.
little place?
Well, eventually we
Eventually.
traveled
Right
around.
next door too.
Yeah, it's just like
right next door.
like a
too.
year.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
like a mile down the road as the
Mile
crow
away.
flies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's still out there.
He's still out there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's like a little off-grid community somewhere around here. Like,
No, it's not really a community. It's just like him and our kids, and then Nick and I. I
Huh.
don't think there's anyone else that.
I wonder if there's more people doing that in the area. There has to be some more people doing
Maybe.
that in the area. But when you say off-grid, what does that actually mean?
Solar power.
Solar power.
For us and for Tyson, like cooking with propane stove, heating with wood. The refrigerator's like a camper propane style.
Okay.
Yep.
So you have to get your propane
Mm-hmm.
and internet.
Internet. Yep.
You have internet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's not like,
Not fully off grid.
yeah, I don't know. Like there's lots of different definitions of off grid. For me, it's not being tied to the electrical grid and being reliant upon the electricity. Yeah.
There you go.
And if things were to get crazy, I mean, we could still survive by cooking with wood if we needed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the mailing grid.
Okay. So you get mail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You get mail.
I
Like
mean,
you have an
we're-
address.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, there's nothing much different other than
Sustainable power.
Yeah,
Sustainable.
exactly.
Sustainable. Like
Mhm.
you're prepped. You're not like some people are preppers, but you guys are like already like living a lifestyle that if shit hit the fan, you guys would be okay compared to the world.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
We'd be
yeah.
pretty good because
good.
we just got this solar powered well. So
Yeah.
A solar powered well.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
She found it 10 years ago, and it's still pretty state of the art. Yeah, it's just you just pound a regular well, and there's a pump that goes in there, and
Submersible.
it's got wires and stuff that go to panels, and then yeah, it runs off the sun. So that's pretty cool.
So you have a well out there.
We
that-
will.
You will.
Yep. We haven't done it yet, but we just got the pump.
So what do you do for water out
We
there?
haul water.
You haul water.
Hmm.
And you have a big tank,
Just 7-gallon Reliance jugs that we use for our sink.
7-gallon. How many of those do you have?
3.
3. So every day you're hauling water almost.
No.
A couple days?
Maybe once a week.
Once a week?
We go through very minimal water.
Do you guys
And then-
shower?
Yeah, but not not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shower. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, once a year, maybe.
Of course, yeah. You gotta clean the urine off yourself when you spray it on yourself, right? You gotta
Right.
shower.
Yeah,
you gotta
you do.
shower if you're gonna clean the urine off.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
we're previewing there. We're getting into some other topics. I don't
Yeah.
want to get ahead of ourselves because I feel like urine therapy, that's the content that I want to save for just a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
That's what the people are going to stick around and listen for. You know,
Yeah.
people are going to listen for that. But
Yeah.
Crystal Clear Compass, the actual business,
Mhm.
how did that come to be? And what did that start out as?
Ooh. I started off as astrology and music and didn't have the name for quite a while. And then that name just came to me.
So
Yeah.
were you doing that before you guys met? Or that was like something you guys started together kind of?
Yeah. I mean, Nick was kind of doing his own thing. And then I was doing, I was growing vegetables and canning vegetables and going to farmers markets.
Okay.
So I've always kind of been an entrepreneur in a way and having like a business.
And what were you doing before?
I was basically just full-time studying astrology so I can do readings. Yeah, it was basically just full-time studying. There's so many videos I want to, master the knowledge of,
Mhm.
true history and all the holy sciences, science of electromagnetism.
Holy sciences.
Well, the holy sciences astrology would be considered a holy science. It would be it's scientific because we're talking about angles and degrees, seconds, minutes, minutes and seconds and degrees. It's all mathematical. It's a science, and then they consider it a holy science because it's kind of you're reading the heavens, which is like a holy thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone's familiar with astrotheology. It's like,
Let's talk about astrotheology.
yeah. So basically, it's just like the Bible in all holy books, but
Yeah, the Quran, the Torah, all the other ones.
Yeah.
I should remember the names, but yeah, they're all talking about 7 and 12.
Yeah, they're all talking about the stars.
Yeah, it's the 12 apostles, 12 everything, and there's 12 signs.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Jordan Maxwell would be which you would want to direct yourself. He's the master of that. He studied it for like 50 years and taught
Astrotheology.
Mhm.
How there's the signs. It's interesting. I kind of got into this a little bit with not the astrology part of it, but like the different ways that God reveals himself to different people. We got into that a little bit with Taylor Gray, professor of religious studies. And it's very, I don't know, like some people will be like afraid of what you guys do. Like it's pagan, it's of the devil or whatever, or it's some cult or astrology is like, but it's undeniable that the seasons of change and moments of starting and stopping and realizing how those actually do line up with different, like with who you are. And it's hard though, because I do believe life is like, there is like a certain amount of like predestination, but also like a lot of free will, but it's like really, really interesting. I find astrology fascinating, but I'm also on the side of it. It's like, I'm still like a little skeptical to dig into it because I don't know exactly where, like I want to like choose to find my guidance from. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it's always that internal inner guidance first. And then astrology is like a confirmation.
It's very interesting.
Mhm.
But so the startup of the business was astrological readings and music. We're doing like lessons. Also, how were you guys making money
Busking.
Busking.
Yeah.
So you guys were playing music and busking, and
Yep.
it doesn't cost very much if you have your setup off grid. Obviously, there's a startup cost to it, so you must have had.
I had a keyboard and the
But
speaker.
how do you sustain? Like, how'd you get your land and your
Oh, that
home
was
and all
okay.
that
So
stuff?
yes, backing up to 2017 when we first
yeah.
met. We traveled. Like, we knew we weren't gonna like do the whole like get an apartment, work a 9 to 5. Like, that was not an option. So basically, the only option was to live in our vehicle by choice and travel. So we did that for a year, and then it was a very dark night of the soul for me, just because of like the whole transition, right? You know, like, ugh. Anyways,
What kind of car did you guys live in?
a Honda Pilot.
Oh, oh my gosh.
But then we upgraded 6 months later
That's a
to,
small rig.
yeah, it was. We
We had
liked
it packed.
Oh.
Packed. She had it-
I know what you guys have been through. Like, I've been through a
Hmm.
relationship that it was a failure on the other end of it, but we traveled around in my Jeep for
Wow.
a long time and like lived essentially for months out of my little Jeep, and it was just like anyone will hate anyone under those
That's what I
circumstances.
was saying.
But like the fact that you guys survived is a strong testament to how much you guys must be willing to work with each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So living in the Pilot, and then you said you upgraded
Yeah, to a camper van,
to a camper
like a
van.
sportsmobile.
Okay.
They pop up. That was like 6 months later. And then we lived in that through a Minnesota winter, which was insane.
And you guys were working odd jobs at this time or not?
No, just astrology.
Just astrology,
Mhm.
and you were making money from these readings enough to like eat and live in
Yep.
your car.
Yep. Very, very minimal.
Very little.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then we'd
Damn.
bring our instruments on the streets. Like we lived in Sedona for a bit
Yeah.
because you can camp in the desert there for free.
Okay.
And it's warm.
Yep.
So we'd bring our instruments. Like I had a guitar and an amp, and she had her 88 key keyboard, a full size keyboard in this car with all of our food and stuff. But we would haul that out to the streets and play. And, you know, sometimes we'd make like $5 or $10. No, we'd make like 20, 30, 40.
80, 120 was like good.
Enough to like get food and get some gas. And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so how did you keep upgrading to the point where you were able to get a little off-grid home?
Okay, so we made it back to Minnesota.
At some point you must have made money somehow.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Made it back to Minnesota barely. Like, this was like really, like, I had to go into churches on our way back to get gas money.
Dang.
Yeah. In Montana, I did that twice just to get back home.
Dang.
Yep.
Wow.
But we made it back home, and then it was just like I said, it was a really low point, and I hadn't been grateful. I wasn't like, you know, being thankful for much of anything. And I realized that because that was a practice of mine at one point, like gratitude. And so I went back, it dawned on me one morning. So I went out and I sat under a pine tree. It was like, I think it was November. The snow was kind of coming down. And I just started being thankful, like thankful for the pine tree, thankful for this beautiful snow, all the things in front of me, even though everything else was like, you know, it was hard to give thanks. And then like just like a few days before that, I had gotten a small inheritance. So I think that probably like triggered this like gratefulness. And I went back into the camper van. Nick was still sleeping because it was early in the morning. And I decided, as I was sitting under the pine tree, I'm going to go look to see if there's any property that we can buy with this small inheritance. And I crawl into bed, and he's like half asleep. He's like, "Tell me something good." Randomly.
Sleeping when I said it.
And I'm like
Half asleep.
scrolling, looking at property, and within like 2 minutes, I find this piece a mile down the road from where I lived with my kids and ex-husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was right. It just fit,
It
right
fit.
price, right everything.
Mhm.
So it was a God thing. It was
Oh, yeah.
it was
Totally.
it was a divine
Mhm.
divine interaction you guys had in your life that brought you back here then.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking how much the plot of land was?
5,000
5,000.
for a
That's-
third acre.
That's awesome. What year was that when you guys bought that?
2018, maybe 2019.
So
Yeah.
it was a piece of dirt, nothing out there,
Forest. Yeah.
forest, trees.
Mhm.
So you went out there and you parked the van out there
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
started cutting down trees.
Very
a
minimal.
couple, yeah.
Yeah,
He wants
I-
to keep all the
I
trees,
wanna
which is cool
yeah.
because they're maple trees, and we've been making maple syrup.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
another side gig, another
Mhm.
part of the side business you guys could get into then.
I guess we could. Yeah. We use a lot of maple syrup, but
We
if
use
it,
a lot of
if
maple
it
syrup.
like,
Yeah.
we're open to sharing though. Yeah.
Nice. So then that got your guys' roots back here in Fergus then.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
The property is it's a nice piece of property too. It's in Otter Tail City.
Near Otter
Near
Tail
Otter Tail City, and you can see Otter Tail Lake. It's exactly a mile away. So it's in a real nice area. And the funny thing was, we only had the $5,000 inheritance, and they wanted 10 or 11,000 for the property. We're just like, whatever, just offer them 5,000.
We put the
Almost
offer
as
in.
like a joke,
Mhm.
like just try it anyways. We're not gonna get it. Just
They
what?
took it.
And they took it. Yeah. we're like,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
and then that was like all of our money, and then we ordered in gravel to make a driveway so we could get onto it because we couldn't because it's a large
There's no
ditch.
approach. Yeah.
And then the guy just dumped the gravel off and took off and
and-
never gave us a bill or anything. It was the weirdest thing.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
This really, I guess that's a,
Interesting.
I guess that's a gift.
So then you guys, what do you guys have for like a shelter out there?
Just our camper van at first, and then we ended up again like manifesting divinely this yurt. It was priced way out of our price range. It's a yurt cabin because I didn't feel comfortable living in like a canvas yurt in a Minnesota winter.
Right.
Just didn't want to do that. After living in the camper van in a Minnesota winter. Anyways, and then she dropped the price like months later.
Yeah,
we were able to afford it.
We had always wanted to live in a yurt.
That was like one of our first conversations.
Yeah, and it's even on Facebook. Like you can scroll back to it and see it from 2016 or something. And I don't know what we were talking about because it was in this comments, and I was like, "Imagine living in a yurt or something like that." And then we ended up getting a yurt. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
So all the while in between here, you guys were just sort of scraping by, getting by, never broke and like got like quote real jobs, just always doing your guys' own things.
In Sedona, I was offered a job at a crystal shop. I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Sure, I'll do that.
So you went and worked at a crystal shop for a while.
Yeah, for cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't spend $1 of it. We put it all into
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 crypto.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Really? That's that. What year was that?
2018.
2018,
Yeah,
2018,
2018.
That's a good time. Pretty good time to be getting into that stuff.
It might- I don't know if it was 3,000 or 17,000 or what the heck it was at then.
It was, yeah, it was right. Ethereum was it? I can't remember what
Can
Ethereum
you?
was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If it would have been 2018, it probably would have been rallying from the bottom.
It-
I bet you would have been under 10,
Yeah, I think it was
under 10,000 for Bitcoin. Probably around $1,000 for Ethereum or something would be
Yeah.
my guess.
Mhm.
So it was something like that.
Something
I'm
like
sure.
that, or less than 1,000 for Ethereum for sure. Probably.
Probably, yeah.
So that was pretty good.
Mhm.
It took. I thought it was just gonna go up in like a year.
So you guys didn't have money, but you're like, I'm betting on this.
I mean,
getting into
we
this.
took, we maybe kept out like $10, $20 here,
Yeah.
just to
Wasn't-
get by. But yeah, it all went into crypto.
yes.
Yeah, we were like, well, this life works. Let's
Yeah,
just
we
keep-
can live minimally. We
Yeah.
don't need it.
There is something to that. Like lots of people live a lifestyle that they get trapped in.
Mm,
And I could never invest in something that's high risk, or I don't want to take a risk with my money. And it's like, probably because you're at the end of the day, you're probably not living within your means. Or like, if you're a true minimalist, like if you want to just go true minimalist, like you don't need very much money to survive.
no.
And then what do you do with the rest of it? Well, you could take risks with it, but then there's people that invest safely too, and they're doing
It's always
pretty
a good
well
idea.
too. You know, the people that just wrote, just followed the instructions from the book of life that they wanted you to follow, invest in mutual funds and all that stuff. Those people are doing just fine too right now. So, but that's cool. So you guys got into crypto, and then that kind of like that changed it. Even a little bit of money in crypto back then is worth a good chunk of change today. So, yep. The crystal clear compass, was this all going on during this time then when you guys bought the land?
It was in its infancy.
In its infancy,
Yeah,
yep.
like I think I started like building the website because I built it all myself. Still a work in progress, but pretty happy with it. I think I started that in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
And kind of touch on a little bit, but give an overview of what like services you guys offer today, like just an overview of like what people could approach you guys for if they wanted your services.
Yeah. We do health consultations regarding alternative ways, modalities of healing, and just keeping our bodies, clean so we don't have to heal,
Yeah, if you go on the website there, crystalclearcompass.com, currently the products area has quite a bit of things to offer. We have a picometer sized magnesium, and it's important that that your supplements and stuff are in nano or pico. Picometer is 1,000 times smaller than nanometer, and nanometer is where a lot of the technology is for high absorbing supplements. So it goes to every cell instantly. It's very efficient. So that's just one thing on there. The picometer minerals, RnA Reset, which was just like affiliate with them. Lots of health stuff on there. There's like a hydrogen machine, and that also hydrates the cell at a cellular level because a lot of our water is just you just urinate it out right away. So this stuff actually absorbs. There's a hydrogen machine on there. There's about 15 like pretty high tech, advanced, leading edge I don't know,
protocols,
health
products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Health stuff.
So those are mainly affiliate links. So you guys run your YouTube channel. You guys have a YouTube channel, and push out affiliate links, and then recommend these things to the people that you interact with, and that like kind of gets you some kickbacks.
It does. Yeah.
It works quite well. Yeah.
We use them too. Like it's not just like we're promoting something we don't use, and right?
Yeah, we use them all. The ZenCleanz is
time.
another amazing, very advanced. It's from like a 500-year-old Buddhist recipe. These folks in Taiwan make it, but they're working on 8 kits. Like one cleans your blood, one cleans your lymph, and it cleans it. Like the liver one, anyone will take it, and you will dump out handfuls of stones from your liver. And people need to get that out because these
where do the stones come out
your
of?
liver.
In your
Your
gallbladder. In the toilet.
Yeah,
in the toilet.
your bowel movement.
Number 2.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I'd choose that hole over the other one. So.
Yeah, it's intense. They have a lot of serious cleanses that like you need to take seriously.
That they work. And they're easy. They're like one day because a lot of people don't have like a ton of time. They don't want to fast for a week or a month or whatever. These you can do in one day. And
1 day cleanse.
yeah.
Okay. And it actually cleans you out.
It does. They have an intestinal one, and that's like mucoid plaque coming out.
This rubberized layer of mucus in our gut, because we eat such toxic food, our intestines are secreting mucus, and it's been doing it since we were born. And it's turned to this dense rubber, this mucus layer, where we're not absorbing anything anymore. Some people have up to 40 pounds of this rubberized mucus coating their entire 26 feet.
Stop it.
Yeah. And there's a thing you take, this kit, you drink a drink every half hour. You go to bed, you wake up, and it comes out these 4 foot, 6 foot rubber ropes.
It's mucoid plaque ropes. They call them ropes.
And they come out of your butt?
Yeah.
Dude. What?
We all have it. Yeah.
Dude. Crazy. And how often should somebody do that? Like, how often should somebody cleanse themselves? At least once in 30 years of life? Like, I'm 34 now. Should I have never done it? Should I do it?
Well, I like to.
I'm like afraid. That sounds like a terrifying experience, honestly.
It circulates a lot of toxins too. It's a serious thing. It's like a surgery.
Yeah, but you don't want to scare people.
It's like a surgery.
It's not like
surgery.
Okay, it's pretty
I
simple.
mean, it's pretty.
It is
For
safe.
me, it's so safe and it's like pretty easy, honestly. Like you drink these and it tastes good. You know, like some people don't like the bitter things. The ZenCleanz tastes good. It's like fermented fruits and herbs and mushrooms. And like Nick was saying, you drink it and then it doesn't hurt. Like you might have a little bit of bloating, but we've all had that, right? If you overeat. Yeah.
You want to do it a few times,
Yes.
maybe 5 times to get the bulk of it out, and then maybe once a year
Dang.
or every
It's
2
we're
years,
cars.
3 years.
We're like
Okay.
you can liken our physical body as a car. You're not going to just go the whole life of the car without maintaining it. It's not going to keep working as well as it could, right? Same with our bodies.
Dang. Interesting. So the branding of the business, like the structure of it, are you guys an LLC? Are you guys a sole proprietorship? Are you structured as a business in one way or another?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
You're just, I'm me.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a sole proprietor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how
There we go.
I think that's how it works as like a default, and
Okay.
whatever you guys do with the government is between you and the government.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, you'll see the if you check out the end the Fed bumper sticker on the back of my Jeep, you guys
Yeah.
can assume where I stand on all that
Perfect.
stuff. So.
Yeah.
But location, you guys do those readings out of your house? Do you come
Yeah.
and meet people at their homes to do that stuff? Those
Well,
health readings?
I
and
mean, we can.
astrology?
We can totally come, local people. But yeah, just online mainly.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Mhm.
usually do. We have a pretty nice little studio,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
high definition camera, good microphones, and then we set up a Zoom meeting with them, and that's real great because we're all on our own time in the comfort of our own homes, and we can share our screen and show you everything we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Just well, you
And
could
then
in
you can
person.
service people all over the country, not just
And
here.
the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys get clients from your YouTube channel then all
Yeah.
over? You get people reaching out to you for
Mhm.
for these services.
Yeah. And then
Huh.
one thing that it was like a big blessing is we met Santos Bonacci. I don't know if some people might have heard of him. He's big into like the truth movement and astrotheology. But anyways,
Sovereignty.
and sovereignty. Yeah, he put our link on his website. So that's been huge for us too.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that drives a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah, he helped a lot. Universaltruthschool.com is his website.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
And
So
yeah.
sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
He also does astrology readings too.
Okay, gotcha. So we talked about astrology a little bit.
Mhm.
Give me like what it means and why it matters and why somebody should know their astrological chart or whether or not it matters if I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was just a red flag when a girl asked me my astrological sign,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
oh, she's one of those girls. Maybe steer clear of her, but they're starting
Mhm.
to grow on me too. They're starting to grow on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing for me is just I want to know thyself. I want to know who I am more and more and more. And knowing how to read the language of astrology, the stars, because it is a language. It's a language of symbology. Once you know how to read it, or if you have someone, reading your chart for you, it like I was saying, it confirms like this inner knowing. Like, oh, that's why I've always loved music. That's why anything. That's why I'm so like routine based, like my Virgo rising just likes that everything in order.
Very organized.
Yeah. And then you're not like, for me, this is like my personal journey. Like sometimes I'd question myself, like, oh, why am I like that? I don't like that about myself.
Yeah, or
Right?
maybe why is your throat blocked?
Yeah.
It's because she's got all of her planets in her throat.
Mhm.
The head is Aries, so if you have planets in the head, you're very head driven, head first. If you got all your planets, any planet in Taurus, that's the neck. Gemini is the lungs. These people teach breathing exercises all the time. They're writers. Cancer is the stomach. in the lymphatic system.
Was that why my stomach? What was that why I have stomach stuff going on?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Indigestion
it's profoundly
and
it's profoundly accurate
stomach.
to
Yeah.
where we can pick people's signs just by looking at them.
So does that mean like would the stomach be that would tie into like your gut and your intuition, that gut feeling or not?
Yeah, well, Cancer
Part
is
of
the
it,
most
yeah.
sensitive and
Intuitive.
Huh,
psychic sign.
interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, they can feel people more than any other sign.
So it's water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cardinal water. And it's the sign of the mother. And the mother can always feel, my kid's getting up to something. Because it's the moon, and the moon is water. So yeah, water is like the most receptive element. It's the softest. And
Interesting. So the gist of it is you have a time of year you were born, like the month you were born in. Most people will like your astrological sign, that is your moon sign,
It's your sun sign.
sun sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a moon sign based on the time of day you were born. Is
Yep.
that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And your rising is also based on your time of day and location.
yeah, and America goes with the sun sign, but other countries, they read your chart based on the moon sign or the ascendant sign. So you have to look at all three. They're very important.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go really deep into this because I've thought a lot about our calendar system and how arbitrary our calendar system is, and how I think it was like 1582.
Yeah, Gregorian.
They like deleted 10 days. It was, I think it's October 4th through like the 15th in the late 1500s at some point. They deleted 10 days. There's the only 10 days that don't exist on our calendar. They deleted these 10 days out of existence to sync our calendar back up with the summer solstice again, because they realized that we were falling out of alignment with the summer solstice.
Yeah.
So if they did that, if they made that like arbitrary decision as man back in like the late 1500s to say, we messed up on our calendar, like the rest of the world doesn't all use this calendar system. So how does like your reading play with like different calendars and stuff and different time? Because like everything's measured in a different way. That's just an arbitrary measurement of man, isn't it? Like couldn't we just establish a new calendar tomorrow if there was a strong enough world power that could make it happen, and we'd have different numbers and different everything to go off of?
Yeah.
Is that a crazy question?
No, that crosses everyone's mind.
Everybody thinks about that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of different there's tropical astrology, which reads the sine wave in the sky. The ecliptic, it's the path that the sun takes, and that's fixed. That's always fixed. So whatever date you assign to when the sun is at zenith, cosine wave amplitude, the highest, which is Cancer, whatever date you assign that to, the sun will always be at the top of the sine wave. So it doesn't matter. Right now it's June 21st. You could put Johnny 88 right there, but then once you memorize that Johnny 88's always at,
I hear you, because January, February, March, April, May, June, that's not our calendar. The movements of the planets and the movements of the sun is what we're striving to sync our calendar to. Whether or not we've accurately done that yet or not, but that's from the beginning of time what we've used to determine. And then there's theories like, I don't want to go too far down the flat earth rabbit hole or any of that stuff, but like there's theories that like, why hasn't anything changed? Why is it constant?
Yeah.
Why is this like the same movements, the same patterns over and over and over and over and over and consistently?
Yeah, it's called no stellar parallax. They're identical. The pattern's identical. And the Egyptians have a 450,000 year record of the stars, and they've been the same the whole time.
It's crazy. So why are they? I mean, it's just because there has to be an order to it. There has to be a sustainability and an order to it. Like, who knows why we're here or what all that stuff means? But it's very interesting that like the moon controls. So what does the moon do? The moon controls tides. Isn't that what makes our compasses work? The moon?
Probably.
Or
magnetism.
Is that like, so like, I don't know. I don't understand like how all that stuff works, but it's just so interesting how connected we are like to all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and there's a big solar eclipse coming up.
There
Do
is.
you want to talk about, I mean, today, I don't know what's today. What is today's date? The 15th?
Yeah.
It is March 15th. So I think April 8th is the solar eclipse.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to talk about the period? What does it mean, this period we're in right now?
Well, I mean, it has different meanings for each person, but generally, it's in Libra. Libra is the sign of relationships and balance. So, just generally, it could, we're all going to experience something with that. Then you have to look at what house it's in, because then that gives you more detail on what you specifically.
What does that mean? What house?
So there's 12 houses, and each house
House
has
Targaryen.
Hmm?
The House of Targaryen.
No, like the
Okay.
first house, second
Yes,
house, third
okay.
house. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's 12 of them. First, second, third, and there's 12 different houses, and
They each have like a different
In your personal chart.
Yeah.
You have to look where Libra is in your personal chart. So it might be, for me, it's in the 6th house. So this eclipse will be occurring in my 6th house. And the 6th house represents like routines, health protocols, sicknesses, illnesses, and the digestive system. So that's all the theme that will happen when this thing takes place for me. That's what she's.
So reading that ahead of time and thinking about that ahead of time, do you think that, like, obviously, like, the idea of life is to be able to kind of like control it, but like, do you think that you're like manifesting a life that wouldn't be otherwise if you didn't have that information?
That's a good
Do you think that
question.
like you're ready for things that you wouldn't be ready for or looking for otherwise? Or could you be ready for anything? Like, could you manifest anything if someone said this is what you should expect out of this period and you were expecting that, then that's probably what you're going to get and what you're going to find. I mean, that's kind of like the root of the law of manifestation is like, or like if you would experience something and then you read something back, it's like you're going to connect those dots however you can connect them. But I don't know. I've had some pretty crazy like astrological like moments too where I'm like, oh, okay, there's something to this. Like I need to understand this a little bit better, It's just that whole like, how much of that do you really want to understand? All of it?
Yeah.
Probably?
But yeah, expecting it has an influence on it, but we've had so many occasions where we've looked back at the charts, like the day we met, and there was like bang, 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 bang. Whoa, sun was on my Juno. Juno's the marriage love planet, asteroid. And you had 4 planets in your 7th house, which is your
House of
partner
relationships.
house. And like all these things.
And I didn't know astrology then. Like I didn't manifest that.
Yeah, and we've looked back at so many different occasions and seen that something lined up to make that happen, to where we kind of know that it's already gonna happen. But yes, if you think ahead, you're definitely gonna put a different energy on it, being expecting it and being prepared for it. But also you can tell right when the sun switches signs, right when the moon switches signs, right when the moon hits my south node every time. It's like, oh, I wasn't tracking the moon, but today sucks. Because the south node is a very unfortunate placement. And then I'll go and look and bang, it'll be on my south node. Or I'll feel the energy change. And then I'll be like, I bet the moon just went 0 degrees into a new sign. Say Pisces, you can always feel when the moon hits Pisces because you get tired.
Sleep.
Everyone gets tired when the moon goes in Pisces.
But it's only for 2.5 days. So yeah.
There's things like that we've been paying close attention to I've been for 10 years and her and I for 7 years. And we have like a million examples and stuff. Like it's a very true thing. Like otherwise, you can even read people's mineral deficiencies, looking at them and see what signs they are.
All right. Well, we're gonna spend some time when we're done with this episode, and I'm gonna have you guys give me a reading.
Okay,
I'll make it happen. I wanna.
Yeah.
I've never done it. I've never sat down with people who actually know what they're talking about with that stuff. So I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to see what the pagans have to say about me in my future. I'm just kidding, guys.
It's an empowerment tool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because when you're aware and you can like see what's going on,
Absolutely.
just it brings a sense of comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. let's get back on the topic of alternative health. This is the
Yes.
one I've been waiting for here. Let's talk about the golden shower.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the golden shower.
Golden elixir of life.
Okay. And yep. And there's no random reason why it's called a golden shower. So we just spoke to our friend, and she's been practicing this since 1973, and
Damn.
yeah, and she's been aging it since 1973. And I've met people who have had
Aging.
you
Urine.
age the you take the urine out of your body because most people have negative thoughts. 90% of their thoughts are negative, and 90% of those thoughts are the same exact the next day. And we have 70,000 thoughts per day. So thoughts structure water. If you think about water, you look at it and you focus on it, your thought is emitting a wave and it's affecting the water. So it's affecting the water in you. So if you take, this is a bit of a philosophy why the urine gets better when you put it in a jar
And age it.
and age it. But they've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years in India. We've dissected all the literature and books, and I've got friends that's putting together websites with all the old books and stuff. They've been doing this forever. But if you take the urine out and put it in a jar,
A glass jar, preferably.
glass jar with a breather top, it
Like
gets better.
cheesecloth.
It gets better with time.
Just like a fine wine. Just like a
It-
fine wine.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Gets
Um,
better with time.
Yeah, it's voltage changes.
Yeah, the voltage, and it's negative voltage. It's not positive voltage. So positive voltage is dirty electricity. It's the electricity that's making us sick in our households. It's inflammatory. This positive, because you put electricity through a wire, only 70% of it's going through the wire. The rest is coming through the shielding and all over, and it goes into your body. Like right now, if we measured our voltage, we'd be at like a volt positive, but we want to be at least 0. And as soon as you hit the ground outside, you go to 0.
With bare feet.
But urine goes below 0. It
Interesting.
goes negative 800 millivolts. I've had it, which is almost a whole volt, which is incredible.
So like they talk about like going outside and taking your shoes off. That's the grounding.
Mhm.
That actually is grounding of energy, like a actual current in electrical current inside your body.
Yeah, it's grounding it's giving a pathway to the ground that these electrical, so your wires are shielded, which is good. So not much electricity is coming off there. But if those weren't shielded, that electricity would be going into you, and you'd have like a volt of that electricity.
Like
in you.
these XLR cables.
Yeah, that might have dirty electricity coming off of it. But if you want to get your foot on the ground so that can pass through you rather than just sit and cook in you.
So what is the spraying urine all over your body? You said that like brings you down even more so than a normal grounding.
Yeah, so the urine would have negative voltage, which is a miracle. And the longer you let it sit, the more negative voltage it has. I have an ORP meter. It's an oxidation reduction potential meter. It measures negative and positive voltage. You can, so as soon as you urinate, it's already negative 120 millivolts, which is crazy anyways, because only medicines are negatively charged. Anything else is,
So just to clarify, fresh is not what we go for here. We
no,
are
you
aging.
could, but
both.
You could
Both.
both.
it's like
Yeah.
99% water fresh. But when you
yeah.
age it, the white blood cells multiply, the stem cells multiply, and there's laboratories all over America now proving what we've been saying. And they're counting the stem cells. If you let it sit for 3 weeks, it goes from 140 stem cells to, I think it was more than 300,000. I think it was maybe, anyways, it goes to a
lot.
crazy high number.
When you age it for 3 weeks.
Huh.
And get to the gold part.
Oh yeah. The whole reason the reason it's called gold is because it has actual gold in it. Our friend in Savage, Minnesota, she had hers tested at a lab in 2003, and it had 13% gold in it. And she did 3 tests, one with fresh urine that had 6% gold in it, one that was aged 2 years that had 13% gold in it. So it's growing. It's not metallic gold. It is gold chloride, which is a mineral salt. It's a monoatomic mineral salt, which means it has 1 atom on the outer ring. And monoatomic is a real important thing in health because that 1 atom on the outer ring is a key to get into all your cells. It's a high absorption rate. But it's just even more special that it's monoatomic gold chloride salt. But yeah, it had 13% gold in it, the PP.
Dang. So the
Yeah.
golden shower is a thing, and there's healing properties to it.
Oh yeah.
So put it in like, if you could explain it in one sentence, just to kind of wrap it up, like why do you? Because you put it in like a mist bottle, like a spray bottle, and like mist it all over yourself.
You can. Yep.
That's one way of applicating it.
Mhm.
There's a sponge you could just rub it on. The loofah.
Yep.
I mean, you pick your application method.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to clarify, um, it's an absolute complete lie. They've lied to us, that it's a waste product because they want you to take their pharmaceuticals. It's the largest monetary industry, one of the largest ones. And then a lot of these pharmaceutical products, they use urine in them.
Urea.
Yeah, for the skin products, and that's where they source
Like
the stem cells
your
from.
beauty products.
Stem cell therapy is from
Really?
urine, and urine is actually ultra filtered blood plasma. The nephron in your kidneys spin your blood, and they spin out the plasma like those machines that collect plasma. So if you look at blood plasma from a machine, it's yellow. It's the same exact as urine. They're identical. They're both blood plasma. So that's just a little bit more detail on it, but yeah, it's been known as a beauty thing. So if you put it on your skin, it really absorbs it. It's totally,
Like moisturizing,
yeah.
exfoliating.
Not really exfoliating, but I'd say just like anti-aging.
Ah,
Yeah, because
Like makes you like a baby, because that's what the amniotic fluid is made up mostly of, is urine.
interesting.
yeah, we were born in urine and we were breathing it.
So
Yeah.
we're just, and as far as how often this goes, is this a daily thing? Is this a like, however often you shower, you do it before the shower?
I put it on my face daily, and then when
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stop
It takes years
Yep.
to break the program.
So you spray it on and then you clean it off right away.
no, you leave it on.
You let it dry on your face. Does it smell?
Mm-mm.
It doesn't smell?
But it really,
I would think it would smell.
It does sometimes if you eat a lot of cooked food.
Yeah, the dirtier, the dirtier your diet, because I've noticed like the cleaner I eat, the less smell. But then like if I eat like you say cooked food, it
Doesn't have to do
has
with like your ammonia, like the levels of ammonia in your urine or something too.
Yeah, that would, yes. It can smell sometimes, but
Mhm.
if
Like
but
how
if
hydrated or dehydrated you are has a
Yeah.
lot to do
that
with it,
too,
right?
yeah.
if you're dehydrated, it's like
Yeah.
bitter too.
Yep.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
anything else you guys want to add about urine therapy?
Yeah. So like you asked like one sentence.
Yeah.
What I like to always go to is, and it's astrologically based as well. Venus is the solar plexus. It's like our power center. Venus is love. It's yellow. Solar plexus is the color yellow.
And it's right
What-
over the kidneys too.
Right. What color is urine? Yellow. So when you practice urine therapy, it's an act of self-love.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an act of self-love. And it has to be your own urine. Is that ideal?
That's to be up for discussion.
Yeah, people are saying that immune function is increased when you consume other people's urine.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is
I can't believe this conversation. But
yeah.
hey, if it's scientific, then it's scientific. Like if there's something to it, it does feel very, very foreign to the way that we've all assumed or thought about it.
Because that's what we were programmed from.
But like I saw something like a video, is like the antidote for some snake bites is found in venom.
Mhm.
And like there's a lot of examples of things in life, like the cure is right in front of you. The cure is there. It's like the cure exists within you. You just have to like not look out there, and you have to look in, and what your body is like. We are made to be self-sustaining creatures. Like that's how we were, in my opinion, designed to be. So
Exactly, 100%. That is perfectly said. So if you have like cancer or something, your urine's creating antibodies for cancer. Your Own Perfect Medicine would be one good book to send people to. Yeah, your body's always creating an elixir for what you need. And yeah, it cures all these venoms. It has a kinase. It's an enzyme that breaks blood clots. So it's urine is one of the best blood clot breakers. Dr. Edward Group teaches this a lot. Yeah, it has that enzyme, and it has a full spectrum of enzymes, all 12 tissue salts, all trace minerals, nano and negatively charged. But yeah, it has all these enzymes. Urokinase breaks down the blood clots, and then urine is one of the only things that can repair damaged DNA. So people are getting damaged DNA these days and blood clots, and urine is like one of the number one things.
And then you're talking spray bottle to the exterior of the body, or like, are people drinking it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People drink it.
Yeah. I've been
because it's sterile.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that, is it the episode of, or the quote from the movie Dodgeball, because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they got it.
But like, I mean, like, you drink it?
Yeah, I've been drinking it for. Yeah, I know it's just a mental program though.
Okay.
It's funny at first. 8 years ago is when I learned about that. I read all these books. George Armstrong, The Water of Life. He was doing it to people on their deathbed. 400 case studies. This book is called The Water of Life. And this is the one that motivated me. Like, these guys are dying. Some of them were urinating black blood. They had days to live. He listed off all these diseases that they had. I can't remember, like life-threatening diseases, days to live. He gave them all their urine. They walked out. 400 case studies this book is. And I'm like, if these guys were drinking it, screw it, I'm just going to drink it. It was so weird at first.
Like a shot, or?
Yeah, I just slammed it down like it was tequila. And I was like, okay, all right, that's fine. I felt all my tissues soften and my spine like relaxed, because there's so much magnesium and there's 5,561 nutrients the laboratories are saying that it has in it now. 5,561.
Oh. I'm assuming you guys have some YouTube videos about this topic that go like deep into it, and you're constantly like getting new studies, and if you learn something, you're telling about it and stuff like that. Do you guys have a podcast or just a YouTube channel?
It's a YouTube channel, Crystal Clear Compass. Yeah, and it's various topics, because like there's so many things that interest us.
Yeah.
So
yeah, urine's the coolest because it's so self-empowering, and it's such
free.
and it's so funny too, because it's such a rebellious thing.
Mhm.
And then just one other thing I wanted to put in there: when you age it, it grows in pH too, which is really weird. You pee in a jar. You don't even have to drink it. Test this. Get a pH strip. You urinate. It might be 6 if you're eating a little acidic. Might be 4. I've seen people with pH 4 urine, which means they're eating very acidic food. It might be pH 7. Whatever it is, it'll go up to pH 14 within I don't know, 6 months or so. But it'll be pH 14, which is incredibly alkaline.
It's a great cleaner.
It's a great cleaner.
Like if you need to like get glue or tape or something off, it cuts right through it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I am open-minded. I'm an open-minded person. I don't know if we're pouring shots after this interview or not, but
No,
I might be interested in trying the spray bottle on the skin. That might be something that I do, but I will have to wash it off my body, I believe.
And that's fine.
Like maybe spray it on before I shower for a little bit and then go wash it off.
Yeah,
about that.
like
I do.
Like, yeah, as far as like the whole body application, I'll spray down and then keep it on for like a few hours and then shower.
See, I don't even know if it's for me, but I do want to be healthy. I don't want to be unhealthy. So I don't want to take the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, you gotta get into some of these books, and then you'll be motivated. Another crazy thing is I had a 3rd degree blister on my pinky, 3rd degree burn, and it was so bad. I almost broke my teeth from just screaming, and this boiling hot oil poured over it. A jar broke. Poured boiling hot oil and had my pinky on the bottom, and it cracked, and then the pain was immense. And I swear I was clenching my teeth so hard they almost cracked. And it hurt so bad, and I was trying everything. I was like, well, eucalyptus, that's cold, right? Put that on that. And we have like all these medicines. Put that on it. Put that on. Nothing. I was like, oh yeah, urine. I had a jar of urine. I dunked my finger in it, and the pain went away right away.
And it healed within 7 days.
7 days, no scar. As soon as I took it out, the pain came back.
Dang.
I had to put it in there for 7 days straight.
No way.
Yes. Stop the pain. It was crazy.
That's like, so like there is we've all heard about, like, if a jellyfish stings you, someone needs to pee on you.
Exactly.
Like that's like, I think the only probably that's like the one time that like probably everybody's heard it,
Mhm.
or if like you've heard about it, but like there's a reason why. And then like we're not going to get into colloidal silver, but you guys know about colloidal silver. Do you guys do stuff with colloidal silver?
A
Yep.
little
A
bit.
little
yeah.
bit,
Mhm.
a little bit. But you think that the urine's better
Yeah, it has.
in all the ways.
Yeah, it has all. It has a full list of colloidals, and it has colloidal copper, colloidal silver, colloidal gold. It has the silver, not concentrated, but it has it
Yeah.
in it. But yeah, the urine would be better because it has so many things.
It has so many things. Interesting. Well, they'll maybe be able to find some more information about that on your website or some videos or
Yeah, there's nothing on it, but
Yeah, we'll have to add some. That's
yeah,
a good
yeah.
point.
Maybe you
Yeah.
guys will do a deep dive. This will inspire you to do a deep dive YouTube. We went pretty deep on this podcast though. I feel like
Yeah.
they got a lot out of it if they listened.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
we're over an hour here. I don't really care. I don't have anything going on today. If people want to quit listening, they're feel free. But I want to talk cryptocurrency a little bit
Okay.
with you guys.
Yeah.
So tell me about the crypto space. How have you guys been involved with it then since about 2018, putting in little bits of money, getting into some different trading platforms? I know that you guys were telling me about some like crypto. It sounded like a crypto pyramid scheme to me, but I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been into well, like 2013 would what I would say would be my awakening to everything, where my mind just absolutely broke all the conditionings, and I was into Bitcoin in 2013, and I was telling everyone about it. And then yeah, and then when Ethereum was $50, I was telling everyone to invest in that. No one listened. um, but yeah, that's how far it goes back for me. 2013 is when everything started. But yeah, I was right on the leading edge of everything because yeah, some sort of activation
So you
occurred
still
in my-
do you still hold coins, or did you like, because I got into it back in the day too, but then I got out of it
yeah,
and then
same.
didn't get back into
Mhm.
it. So I missed out on a big chunk of that life.
Mm-hmm.
Similar.
Yeah, and
Yep.
yeah, same. And actually a friend and I had it in 2010 as well. And yeah, we got rid of it right away. We didn't know. How are you supposed to know?
How are you supposed to know? How are you
Yeah.
supposed to know?
Mm-hmm.
But now you guys just trade it, kind of do some crypto education for some
Yeah.
people if
Yep.
they're curious about it.
Yeah,
That's part of
definitely. Yeah, I'm very passionate about other methods of money, I guess you could say. Yeah, because I don't know, the banking system isn't there's much to be desired in that.
The
But
boomerang?
yeah, so it's a crypto AI trading platform.
Boomerang is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty advanced. It's the
Yeah.
only one that trades AI and won't take a trade in that won't make you money. It declines all the ones where you won't make a profit.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's the only one first one that does that.
Interesting.
Pretty easy.
And it's easy. Like you don't have to have a ton of knowledge behind it. You just look for your highest percentage. Like there's a bunch of different trades, pairs, and pick it, push the button, push another button, confirm, blah, blah, blah. And yeah,
Huh.
it's pretty easy.
And then you guys, but it's a system where it's like sign people up. It's like a kind of MLM. It's like an MLM style crypto system, kind of.
If you want it to be, it doesn't
Yep.
have to be. You can still do the trading and make money.
Right.
But if you feel like it's something you want to share with your friends and family, go for it.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
if you were to get me to sign up, then I'm under you guys, and if I trade, you guys would make little bits of money off my trades.
Nope, no money off the trades, but you buy a subscription to be able to use this platform.
Okay.
And then that's where we would make the money.
Gotcha.
You just
Okay.
Make 5% off your initial investment.
All right.
So then if you have somebody that wants to sign up, they have to sign up through somebody, and it'd be you. Say they put $12,000 and $1,000, and whatever you get 5% of it just goes into your account. You can cash it out. It's in USD. And send it USDT.
You still think it's a good time to be buying Bitcoin at $70,000, or what do you think?
Ooh.
Ooh.
It'll probably drop down to 50, maybe.
I'd
40.
wait right now.
Wait for the pullback.
I think it's like the way it's been going. You know, I would say it's going to go up to 90, and then drop down to 50, and then. But what's going to happen when it goes through its halving?
Yeah, in
in
April. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It could hit 100.
It could.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I really appreciate your guys' time. I don't want to brush over anything. If there's anything else you guys want the people to know about Crystal Clear Compass or anything, but I want to get some mistakes and advice from you guys. Biggest mistake you've made throughout your career?
Oh, I don't know if I view anything as a mistake, honestly,
Well,
because it's all needing to happen so that you can like realize, right, that I could do it differently and better.
yeah, the mistake could be of benevolence. It doesn't have to be of a bad thing. You know, you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
No, it is. I get a lot of that. A lot of that. Like, oh, you don't really make mistakes, but I do believe that you do.
Yeah.
Like, I think that people do. I think that you change the course of your life in negative ways sometimes based off the decisions you make. I don't know. But then you are where you are because you're supposed to be there anyways.
Yeah.
But I do believe that there's things you do in your life and things you say to people at times that disconnect relationships or do things that like impact your path in a way that I don't know. It's interesting. I always find it like I think lying is the easiest way to make a mistake. And that's where we fall into mistakes is when people lie, because if you're in alignment with the truth, then you're probably going to be on the right side of the destiny that's supposed to become manifest to you is if you're in alignment with truth. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
maybe
how about best business advice?
Do what is in your heart. Like if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? Why would you want to like spend your life doing something, even if it is making you hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Yeah, and I would say utilize your time the best. Always be working on your building your business rather than, you know, it'd be good time spent. That's what comes to mind.
Yeah. I like it. Well, you said, do you have a website?
Yeah, crystalclearcompass.com.
Crystalclearcompass.com. It will be in the episode description.
Okay.
How else can the people get a hold of you? Is that the best way?
Facebook? We're on Facebook. You can find me, Crystal Cavalier, Nicholas Schizzano. We're also on Instagram. I'm Crystal Clear Compass on Instagram and TikTok. And then he's Nicholas Schizzano.
Well, if you just type in Nicholas Schizzano on Instagram.
And then YouTube?
YouTube is Crystal Clear Compass.
Okay.
Cool. And email is clarity@crystalclearcompass.com.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Anything else you guys got on your mind before we get out of here?
I think that's it.
Well, I appreciate it. Nick, it's nice catching up with you. This is a fun conversation. I think that people are going to enjoy that. That's not information you get other places. Like you're not going to find that information anywhere else. The conversation we just had. So yeah, but I really appreciate it. You guys sitting down. I appreciate everybody listening. Like I said, I just, it's been a lot of fun doing these podcasts. I want to continue to do them in one way or another, but this will be like a good time for me to step back. So you guys will get this episode. I don't have any other guests currently lined up. I know I have some people that I was talking to that want to get on the show, and I'm not going to like leave those people hanging. If you want to get on the show and you want to tell your story, I want to figure out a time to do it, but I just don't know if this is something that I want to be, like on top of every week of my life, or if this is something that I kind of want the community to step up and be a part of. So it doesn't necessarily feel like something I have to put so much into to continue to sustain.
Yeah. So
I'm all open for ideas. And otherwise, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for coming into the studio here. Thank you to the sponsors, Stumbinos, Victor Lundin's, Lakes Area Grow Co. If you guys want to get a hold of me about anything, ffbspodcast@gmail.com is the way to do it. Otherwise, enjoy your lives until I come back with another one of these episodes. Have a good one, guys.